Well, we have a variety of presenters here today to lead the board, to lead the panel here. We have David Kaiser, who each one will give a brief introduction. We're going to list them all out, and then they have a bit of time to kind of formalize their introduction. But David Kaiser is our Tennessee rep. He's from the Tennessee RPCV group. And then we have Gloria Mogan from the Friends of Korea. Gloria, did I say your last name right?
Right, Mogan.
Okay. And then we have Mariko Schmitz, and she is from the RPC group in Washington, D.C. And then Will Sparker.
Yes, Sparker, yeah.
Aha, I'm doing well. From the NorCal PCA Regional Group Collaboration Group. And then Michelle Posen. It's important. RPC Group in Madison. And each of them will give just a brief introduction. And we are going to try to limit each introduction to 3 minutes.
You said 5
5 minutes. I'm sorry. 5 minutes. I'm sorry. 5 minutes. And then we'll continue with the program. Yes.
Could each one start by telling what generation they're from?
Yes,
Oh, that's a great suggestion. I love that. Yeah, so that's a little extra time to have. Yeah, but go ahead. And I guess we'll start with, at the end, Michelle? Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry, Dave. Yeah, Dave.
Okay. Well, good morning. Welcome to Nashville. I hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. My name is Dave Kaiser. I'm a native Nebraskan, and I served in the Peace Corps in Morocco from 1998 to 2000. How many Moroccan RPCVs do we have in the audience? Yeah, all right. So, native Nebraskan, served in Morocco, and then I went to grad school as a Peace Corps fellow at Western Illinois and learned how to form nonprofits. That was one of my primary projects. And then I moved down to Tennessee in 2007. And Tennessee is the volunteer state, so I figured there would be an RPCV group here. I was mistaken. I looked everywhere. I looked at MPCA's website. There was nothing there. There was nothing for Nashville or Memphis. Got on the listservs, Facebook, nada. Well, I only knew a couple people here in town when I moved down here, so I went and volunteered for Habitat for Humanity, and I saw a Jeep with a Peace Corps sticker on it. And I went and found that person. His name was Phil. And I said, Phil, we need a group. And he's like, I agree. I've been thinking the same thing. So we got together with Sheila. Sheila, raise your hand. She's one of the founders. And we had coffee, and she had a list of 12 names that she got from Angie Harris. And we decided, let's have a social. We called everybody. They invited their friends, and we had 30 RPCVs show up. And we got all their names, email addresses. And then we sent out an email to everybody and asked if they wanted to organize. So we organized in March of 2008. And during that process, we had some really good discussions about what we wanted to do, because there's 2 routes you can take. You can be just a social club, have backyard barbecues, participate during Peace Corps Week, and be done for the year. Or you could get really serious. And we decided to get serious. We decided we wanted to be a 501c3 organization. So we kept meeting. We started working on our charter. We started working on our bylaws. We started trying to figure out what we wanted to do. We knew we wanted to serve in the community and give back. We also wanted to raise money and help out projects if we could. So we incorporated with the state of Tennessee in September of 2008. And then we went around a year, and we came back in 2010, and we submitted our IRS application to the IRS. And then by March 2011, we had our IRS award letter, and we were an official organization. So it takes some time. There is one little wrinkle with the IRS. You have 27 months from the point that you incorporate to the point that you file your paperwork. If you go past 27 months, which we almost did, we procrastinated right to the end, there's a whole bunch of other paperwork you have to fill out. Basically, why did it take so long? Where did you put all the money? You don't want to fall into that trap. The other little pitfalls that we had when we were forming our group was we had a mission statement that was really good, but it had one extra term, or two extra terms on the end that hung us up. Our mission statement is to unite and empower the Tennessee Peace Corps community through service and support. Prior to that, it said service, support, and social activities. The IRS said, woo, social activities? You're a charity? That doesn't work. So we cut that off, and we just still didn't satisfy the IRS. Because in our application, we talked about providing services for recently returned Peace Corps volunteers. And they're like, that sounds like an alumni association. So you'll become a 501c7. And one thing you'll know in the nonprofit world, when you go to corporations and individuals, they don't really like to donate the 501c7s because they don't get the tax deduction. Everybody's looking for the 501c3s. So we reframed our application. We took that out because we realized that the service and support activities that we do, they already support our PCVs just by the fact that we're together. So we just took that out, IRS stamped it, and we were good. So that's what it took to become a C3. So. Yeah, within 5 minutes.
Okay. So then, do you want to answer any questions, or is that?
Sure, I can add. Yeah, any questions?
Or no, just move forward. Okay, I'm sorry, we'll move forward
All
then
right.
to Gloria, who, she is going to talk about membership development.
Yes,
And
hi.
then we'll open up to questions at the end.
Yes. Hi, I'm Gloria Mamokin. I'm part of Friends of Korea. I am definitely a cusper. I am between the silent generation and the boomers. And I have to say, our entire organization is made up of the earlier groups because we left Korea in 1981. And for those of you who've traveled worldwide, would know that now Korea is perhaps one of the most forward nations in the world. They are Samsung and LG and all the other things that make the cars, the Hyundais and the Kias, and all of this are all Korean made. And you can walk down the streets of Seoul right now and see a phone in everyone's hand. You can even use your phones on the subways there, so which are underground. So Korea definitely has changed since our group that has no millennials in it was born. So Friends of Korea our main office is in Washington, D.C. We are a 501c3. Between 1981 and 1991, we were a loosey-goosey group. Then in 1991, we established our bylaws, our focus, our mission, and became a 501c3. So we, except I understand the Philippines was, their organization was formed in 1978.
Yeah, or 1983. Really.
Right, you became, and so you guys were a little bit ahead of us. And Korea, so if you need to get in touch with anyone, you can get it, whoops, did I go backwards here? Okay. All right, this is the past. Korea looked like this. People didn't wear modern day clothes when we lived in Korea. This is what my Korea looks like. No trees on the mountains because we came very shortly after the war. And there's, the war caused all the trees to be taken out, so. So we had cold winters. Oh, this thing is not cooperating here. Let's see, here we go, cold winters, but we all made warm friendships. This happens to be in a rice paddy. And even in Korea today, there is a group called Koika, World Friends, and I will talk about them later. our group went through ups and downs, times when there was absolutely no communication with anyone. But in 2008, Kevin O'Donnell, who was the director of Peace Corps, and after him, Don Hess, who was the director of Peace Corps, were both country directors in Korea. And so they won a major award, and the president of Korea at that time invited all RPCVs back to visit the country. And so from that, we also had President Obama visited Korea and appointed Kathleen Stevens, who was a K-35, as the ambassador to Korea. And that's how our group began. And we created this book, which is called In Their Eyes, with the names of the 1,900 Peace Corps volunteers listed that served in Korea. And it's a fabulous book. One of our members put it together. I will pass it around. Everyone can look through it. Just be careful because it's a beautiful white cover. And it's a wonderful coffee table book. The book really started things because we were able then to go on the revisits, and the exhibit was, the pictures from the book were in Korea, Honolulu, Seattle, Los Angeles, Irvine, Portland, Washington, D.C., and we even had some senators who said, let's put this in the Capitol Rotunda. And so it was in the Capitol Rotunda for 10 days. And any visitor to the Capitol in Washington, D.C. could see our pictures. Boston, New York, Chicago, etc. We have found that friends groups need these things. Something to offer your members. Just, even though we're not millennials, we need something to offer them. And a steady leadership we have had now since 2000. We had one leader, and now we've just elected a new leader for our organization, a focused mission. Our mission right now is fostering cultural awareness and friendship between Americans and Koreans. And we have our bylaws that we created, and membership rates that are reasonable. We have just instituted a life membership. The life membership is $250. We thought no one was going to do this. We have 40 life members now, and it just started, and in the first month, we have 40 life members, and perhaps that's the way to go for some of you groups who are looking for money. And you need steady communication, and we have also begun regional groups throughout the country. It helped by having the photo exhibits at each one of those sites. Yes,
I'm Generation Xer here. We have to be respectful of the 5.
Right, I'm done now.
Okay. I'm sorry.
All right. But the main thing, though, that I would like to say is that we have worked very closely with KOICA. Korea is the only country besides Japan and Germany that has created their own Peace Corps. They have 4,000 people in all the countries of the world that need that idealism. And the Peace Corps has just signed an agreement with them that they will work in cooperation with Peace Corps volunteers all through the world. And so this is something very special, being able to give back to the country what they got from Peace Corps. Okay. Thank you.
And again, you can, Gloria will have some time to ask questions and give more information at the end of the panel. Thank you, Gloria. The next person we have is Mariko, I'm sorry, I keep putting it in. Mariko Schmitz from the RPC group.
Hi everyone, I'm going to do my best to speak loudly. My voice does not carry very well. I am a cusp, Gen X millennium. And I say that I'm from Washington, D.C. I actually grew up in a foreign service family. So I've spent most of my life in D.C. I served in Vanuatu, which is in the South Pacific, from 2002 to 2004. And I am currently the president of RPCVW. Now, our group, as I mentioned earlier, is mostly millennials and a few Gen Xers. And also, the granddaughter of the Honorable Kevin O'Donnell is serving on our board currently. Now, this is a presentation of our group that our communications director, Chris, put together. Yeah, let me just go through this. So we are RPCVW. This is our new logo. And our main purpose is to support the volunteers of Washington, D.C., and also have activities that relate to the third goal as each director interprets it. We were founded in 1979 and incorporated as a 501c3 in 1991. And this is a little bit outdated, but we have over 700 active members and 2,500 contacts. We have, I think, similar numbers on our Facebook group as well. So we are the largest regional RPCV group in the country, I believe. Always in competition with Will, though. So we have several different kinds of programs, including community service, professional development, social activities, and we do partnerships with other socially conscious businesses, and we have some public events. We do this annually. This year we had over 45 events this year. So we have an elected board of directors. We're 11 people. Each director has one project. Let me go through this. And yeah. So I've been asked to talk about development of the leadership on the board. Now, as I mentioned, we have like 2,000, almost 3,000 members of our group, but it wasn't always the case. Before 2009, we had 375 paying members. And our board leadership tended to stay on for a very long time, like between 5 years, 10 years. And we had a significant number of events. Now, our group began to grow significantly with the 50th anniversary of the Peace Corps. As Christina mentioned earlier, we opened up the planning for this event to how many? Hundreds?
Yeah, there was maybe 30 to 50 volunteers throughout the year on standing committees, subcommittees, and over 100 volunteers for the day of September 25th.
Yes. And through this activity, we were able to expand the responsibility of creating our events to hundreds of people, and give a lot of people the sense of that they are participating in our group. And so that's how we were able to grow. Our greatest challenge to date is taking advantage of all the potential that we have with all the interests that we have in our group as a result of our activities in the 50th. We have a lot of younger generations participating in the board in particular, and we seek to diversify the experience on our board, but also in various leadership activities. And of course, as Glenn mentioned earlier, we also are working on our membership to expand the value proposition of our group so that we can expand our paying membership. And that's about it. Any questions? Oh, no, sorry.
No. Thank you so much. That was very nicely done. Next we have Will Sparger for the Northern California group. He'll talk about regional group collaboration and U.S. geographic groups.
Oh, you changed the background color. Oh, I like the background color. Okay, anyway. Hello, my name is Will Sparger. I'm president of the Northern California Peace Corps Association. I've been asked to speak a little bit about regional group collaboration. And before I go into that, I'll give you a little overview of what the Northern California Peace Corps Association is. Probably because I don't know how many of you follow us religiously, so I might have to do an introduction. Our mission is basically twofold. It's promoting understanding of peoples of the world, also known as the third goal. I shy away from third goal because the whole point of third goal is to educate Americans, and whenever we talk about the third goal, Americans are like, what is that? So it's a little hard to educate people if they don't know what you're trying to educate them about. Also, we provide readjustment assistance to return volunteers. Our geographic spread is quite large. It's most of Northern California, excepting the Sacramento area, the area around the capital of California, which has their own Peace Corps group, which is about, our geographic area is about 80,000 square miles, so it's huge and it's a lot of work. We also, in 2013, we had 120 events, and these events are spread throughout Northern California, mainly in the Bay Area, but we do events in Fresno and Redding, which Fresno is a little bit farther to the southeastern corner, and Redding's up in the north. Most of our events are planned by the general membership, obviously because our board is located primarily in the Bay Area, so we need the help of our members to be able to do this. So some of the highlights of doing the third goal or promoting understanding of peoples of the world. Our public outreach, the public face of the organization, is our Speakers Bureau, and these are speakers from over the last year. To the top left there is Ella Harris speaking at San Francisco State University. In the middle there is Paul Reinhardt. He's our treasurer, speaking at the Rotary Club in Palo Alto. Down at the bottom is Mike Guile Huffa, speaking in Berkeley at the beginning of this year on his business development projects in Kenya. And then over on the far right are Courtney Pinder and Julie Mills speaking at World Girl Scout Troops for World Thinking Day, which is in February. We also do a number of events to promote understanding of peoples of the world. Up the top left there with the three panelists, that's at our conference in January. That's Marlo Schindler, Lyle Hansen, Jenna Lohman speaking on the evacuation of Mali, doing a panel discussion of that. At the bottom is Roy Schachter. He served in the 80s in Honduras at our first story jam in Oakland. Over in the middle is Arya Zarenkalk. He has a difficult name, speaking on his service in the Dominican Republic. And then at the top right there is Christiana Dillon. And what I think is really cool about her speaking at this San Francisco story jam is she is not a Peace Corps volunteer. And she's become involved in the Northern California Peace Corps Association, and it has helped us develop our strategy for the story jams where it's more inclusive of not just Peace Corps volunteers, but anyone who's had some sort of intercultural experience. And we have a story jam coming up next week where we have a Fulbright scholar from Afghanistan who's going to be telling a story. So it's very inclusive of the community and not just Peace Corps volunteers. And then at the bottom, sort of highlighting the generational inclusiveness is Marianne Ivan talking about her experience in Nepal at our Stanford Story Jam. We also do readjustment assistance. At the top here is Joe Lurie. He's leading, top left is Joe Lurie, and he's leading a workshop on career skills, career job search skills. The bottom is our job fair last year with Jordan Welty talking to job seekers, and we're doing another job fair in July. And then we have service projects such as our Point Reyes Service Day, and at the bottom right is our Oakland Children's Craft Fair and Christmas, where we do a lot of public outreach. So that's basically what we do. How we do it is everything is really focused around the mission. And you have to, I like what Dave said, you have to have a really strong mission, because to manage such a huge group requires a lot of dedication and passion. And if you don't have something that you feel passionate about, there's no way you're going to put in the 20 hours a week necessary to actually do that. So we developed that mission. And then we're very active in getting our membership involved in putting these events on and participating. The reason why I named everybody is I wanted to highlight the fact that of all the people I named, only one of those people was a board member. Everybody else was a member, and they're actively involved in putting on these events. And as they get more actively involved, they start to take on more responsibility and eventually take on leadership responsibility. And we highlight the fact that you do not need to be on the board. We keep telling our members, you do not need to be on the board to take a leadership position in the organization. And then finally, as they move up there, it's crucial that the board provides those people with support. And we provide support through expertise, like event planning expertise. We give them budget, we give them money to help them do these things. We actually allocate money, budget to members, not just board members, so that they have independence to do, we do our oversight, but they have independence to put on these events. And then we provide training, PR, marketing, and volunteer management to help support our members so that they can do this, and then that helps us serve such a big region.
Thank you. And the final person we have is Michelle Poisson, to speak on fundraising from the RPC group in Madison.
I don't have any slides, sorry. My name is Michelle Poisson, and I was a Peace Corps volunteer in South Africa from 2010 to 2012. I served with my husband. I'm a Generation Xer, and my husband's a baby boomer. And so he retired, and we decided to apply for the Peace Corps. This is something that we both had wanted to do after college, and for whatever reason, life took different paths. And so when we met and married, that was one of our goals, was when he retired, we would join the Peace Corps, and we had a really great experience together there. So I am from the RPCV group in Wisconsin-Madison, and I joined about a year after returning, and I went to the calendar photo selection day, which is an event that's once a year. It's open to the community, and we have all of the calendars, all the photos that are submitted displayed, and members from the community or people from the community and our group vote on which photos call to them. So I thought the calendar, of course, was beautiful. I was proud to be from Madison that produced this calendar, but I was not part of the group yet. So I went up to the calendar chair and said, I would like to actually work on this calendar. And he was like, the next meeting's next week. And lo and behold, a year later, I'm the marketing chair now. So our group really is focused on the calendar. We have not as many members as some of the larger groups. We don't have as many events through the year. We do have one other fundraising event, which is a 10K run in January. It's called Freeze for Food. But primarily our fundraising efforts are the calendar. And we are very proud of this calendar. We've been producing it for 28 years, and in the past 28 years, we've raised over $1 million. And that is just from our Madison group. And one of the goals that we have over the next 5 years is to start collecting that data from the other groups who use our calendars as fundraisers. So I imagine that calendar, the production of this calendar and selling it for projects is probably close to $2 million as far as what's been raised over the years, or maybe $1.5 million. Over $500,000 has been given to the Peace Corps partnership programs. Last year we gave $50,000 to the Peace Corps partnership program, and we raised about $25,000 that we gave to the MPCA and other projects that come across our group. Those projects have to have a Wisconsin focus or a Wisconsin connection, and the board is at the board's discretion. So, we put in a huge amount of time. The calendar takes over a year to produce. We have committees specifically for the calendar that are very, very active throughout the year. About 30 to 50 volunteers work on the calendar. It's about the production, it costs about $100,000 to produce the calendar for the budget. So the marketing committee was formed last year because we realized that there's a whole another world as far as marketing besides just placing some ads in the MPCA magazine. So this year, we're really significantly increasing our marketing to have a focused, dedicated marketing calendar for social networking, and really reaching out to some of the other organizations or some of the other clubs in our county, such as Rotary and Lions, that have similar missions, and hopefully increase our calendar sales significantly with that venue. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about when we do the roundtable is having the decision of what you want to do with your fundraising efforts. Having a lot of smaller events throughout the year is a great opportunity to include a lot of the community and have the community really get to know the RPCVs and what they do. And it's easier for the new members to get involved. I think we have done a great job in fundraising, but I think one of the struggles that we have is really allowing the new members in. It can be a little bit intimidating because we're like a business running this calendar. And I think that some of the millennials kind of shy away from that. And I don't know if the community knows us as well as we would like to be known, because we don't do those huge amount of social activities or fundraising activities around Madison. So those are the pros and cons of having a huge product that makes a lot of money. But we are very proud of what we're able to give to the partnership program.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So now we're going to move forward to our panelists' questions that we have submitted for them. This is kind of to the panel at large, and any one of you guys are welcome to answer the question. What challenges do your groups face, and what skills have you applied to overcome these obstacles?
Well,
Yeah, Lori?
one of our big challenges has been the fact that we are an aging group.
Okay.
And we won't be here in another 10 years or 15 years, 20 years max, as far as those who formed our group. And we had no way to increase or invite, and therefore we are now using the skills of reaching out to the other generations in order to include them. And Korea has done a lot on bringing people into the country. The revisits for our program, we've had 600 people who have gone back to Korea, and they're fabulous trips, 10 days, paid for by others, and paid for by the Koreans and the Korea Society and Foundation. The way that we're reaching out is into each community throughout the United States. We are reaching in to those Korean communities, the Korean the students who are being brought over to Korea, the teachers that are being brought over to Korea, and trying to bring them into our group. And in every community, the consul generals are also doing activities, the Korean consul generals. And we are reaching out to their audience and bringing them into our programs also.
One thing I've seen with another aging group is Peace Corps Iran, and there has not been any Peace Corps in Iran
For a long
about
time.
the same time.
Right.
And I'm actually a member of Peace Corps Iran. I never served in Iran, but they outreached to me at Boston at the same conference. And I have a connection with the Iran population in Chicago, in the Persian community.
Right.
So that's how I felt connected with them. So I think reaching out to Peace Corps volunteers who have connections with the countries as well could be another viaduct there. So I give their information to the Persian population in Chicago. So, and that's how they're outreaching. And there's only 2 of us in Chicago. So that can also be another.
We also have a Facebook page, and there is a Korean RPCV Facebook page also. And we also have a monthly blast through Constant Comment
Okay.
and also other activities that we send out to our members.
All right. Any other panelists want to speak of?
Well, I guess I could say something.
Really general. Yeah.
One of the challenges that we have is we're a statewide organization, but we're based in Nashville. And so most of our activities happen in Nashville, and we've been trying really hard to get a hold of the RPCVs in Memphis and Knoxville and Chattanooga. And we're in the process of that right now with Memphis. And when we created the organization, we purposely didn't make it a membership organization. If you're an RPCV that lives in Tennessee, you're a member. If you donate, you're a supporting member. But we don't differentiate and make it a membership organization where we have to have an annual meeting and meeting of the members and all the members vote for the board. So that's one of the structural strategies we've taken. So what we've been doing now with Memphis is we've pretty much been handing over everything that we have. We're like, please don't go through this 501c3 process. It takes time, it's a lot of paperwork, there's a lot of responsibilities. We've already taken care of that, and it's for the whole state. So use our IRS award letter, use our charitable solicitation permit for the state. Here's our logo in all different sizes of resolutions. Here's the password to our Facebook page. Here's the password to our MailChimp newsletter. Here's the password to our website. Just post away. And in exchange, you can have a seat on the board, and we'll Skype you in. So we just started Skyping with a representative in Memphis. So we have our board meetings the first Tuesday of every month. I think we have missed 2 months since 2008. And we have a quorum every time. And one of the reasons why we have a quorum is we donate money to the Peace Corps Partnership Fund each month. Instead of vetting the projects, we just go to Peace Corps Partnership and we filter for projects that are done by Tennesseans. And if there isn't a project on there, we roll the money to the next meeting. And so where we have the debate is we have a debate on how much money we allocate per month. It's not a lot. Right now it's $100 a month. And if there isn't a project, next month we have 200. Next month we have 300. Boom, you won the lottery. You get $300 towards your project wherever it's at throughout the world. And to date, since 2009, we've donated almost $4,000 just doing that. And we trust Peace Corps because the fact that the project's on the website, it's already been vetted. So we don't need to really dig into and see what's going on and who it's benefiting. And so it takes the stress out of the meetings. So everyone's excited to come to the meeting and find out who we're going to donate money to. And so that's helped with having a quorum. And so now with having Memphis, they're going to be part of that vote. And then hopefully we can get a representative from Knoxville and Chattanooga doing the same thing. So that's all I have.
Okay, this.
Yeah, I'll just talk to that. Sounds, we are on the same page. That's what I'll say. I really admire listening to Dave here. Our biggest two challenges are first breaking out of the Peace Corps bubble. I mean, how do you get into the community that the services that you're providing, the multicultural education, is valuable to them? Last year we generated about 40 speaker requests for various schools and community groups, and we like to do 100 or maybe 200. But each one of these, first off, getting the word out, but also it's very time consuming to do proper matching, like talking to the requestee and then finding volunteers who match that up. And as our group is growing and we do more and more activities around the state, the strain on volunteer resources and our ability to consistently and regularly provide those resources is severely challenged. For example, when we were doing the career fair, the 2 women who were planning the career fair this year, they were gung-ho, they wanted to do it and everything, and then at her job, there was a bunch of layoffs, so she had to take on a lot more responsibility. She couldn't do it. The other one, she got a promotion, a lot more responsibility, and then she couldn't do it. So now we have this huge event that the ball's already rolling. We have all these community contacts who are expecting consistency, so we're put in a bind. And I took it over to just keep the ball rolling, found a couple other volunteers who were willing to help me. But that's a really big challenge in terms of being able to provide consistent services. And, you know, if you drop the ball on this could damage your credibility and your ability to actually influence things in the activities that you want to do. So one of the things that is a challenge is actually thinking about moving to part-time staff or having some paid members. And there's a culture around Peace Corps groups that everything's volunteer. And even though most of us were paid as volunteers, somehow or other when we come back, there's this expectation that now you're a real volunteer. You don't ever get paid for anything you do. And there's that cultural bias that sometimes when I mention, not to all, some people recognize the practical implications of that. But there is an uphill fight. Like, why do you need paid staff? Just find more volunteers.
Well, we're using university volunteers,
Oh, no,
university interns that have other ways of getting paid. They are either part of a university program or they're attached to an organization that is paying them. We're using them both here in this country and in Korea for one of our other museum projects that we're doing in Korea. And we partnered with the university in order to make that happen.
See, Gloria, you bring out exactly my point, the cultural conflict, because, I mean, you're still advocating, get it done with just volunteers.
Well, they're not volunteers. They're getting
Somebody
university
else has
credits.
paid them.
Well, no, they're getting university credit for it. It's a way to bridge that generational cultural conflict.
And I'm Generation X, I forgot to mention that earlier, and we actually had the realization that we couldn't solve all these things, so we purposely brought it back in to keep it simple and focused. We're like, let's just work on
And speaking on it, we have
couple
12
things.
minutes to the whole panelist questions. So let's bring it on in and let's get more to the directed questions. Thank you, Dave.
Can I?
Oh, yeah.
Take one at the.
Yeah.
I love this panel, but it's also, what, 11:45?
Yeah, we're way over time.
Yeah, we're so far over time. And we still want to break out into face-to-face conversation.
Yes.
I'm kind of inclined to break out into this group now.
Okay.
Anyone object?
And that's like Kate is the group leader, coordinator, that was. Thank you, Kate, for bringing it all together.
It's avenues we've looked at.
Okay, and let's have